Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We hope you're having a good day. It's September 26, 2025. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, also known as the PIT crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a couple minutes. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories, 30-second introductions, the interview success workshop, the practice interview team, the career tip of the week, and then we'll have our main event around the top of the hour. Well, we like to start out with success stories, and we have landings because we have donuts in the room for everybody who's here. They all have to be eaten, by the way, so y'all can't leave unless the box is empty. So come on up and tell us your good news.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Garber, and I have landed. Next week, I'll be starting a contract position with Cisco Systems, working on data center deployments around the world. So that's similar to what I've been doing in the past in the IT space as a program manager. And I got the job through networking and applying on their site. Always keeping an eye on what's available. I mean, contracting is a good way to look for additional opportunities because it gives you a chance to, if you land with a company, you could try them out, they could try you out, and you could be hired on full time, make new connections, get new experiences, things like that. So I definitely encourage you to look at companies like Experis and some of the other staffing companies for opportunities in addition to the regular full-time jobs that are out there. Just want to thank everybody here in the North Dallas Plano group for all their support and education and encouragement. Thank you, Jeff and Walt and Matt and everybody else and all the volunteers and the pit crew. On Wednesdays, definitely check them out and participate. You can learn a lot. It'll help you out, help you with your practice for your interviews. And yeah, so thank you, everybody. I appreciate all the encouragement, and thank you, Phil, for turning me on to the group originally. Appreciate that. And that's it. My name is Michael Garber.
A couple questions. How did you find the job?
I found the job through the job board for the contracting company and also via networking. I had done a contracting position for 4 years through them in the past. So
you knew about them.
So I knew about them.
How many interviews did it take?
It took 3 rounds of interviews. And they said that they liked my answers, and actually they liked my questions more than my answers. They pointed out they liked the questions I asked. So, and a lot of those I got from Walt and everybody here at the pit crew. So thank you for that.
And how long a process from when you found the job till now?
From when I first applied for this position, or it was about 3.5 weeks.
Okay. So what one bit of advice would you want to tell everybody?
One bit of advice. It's hard to boil it down to one thing. I guess just continue to show up, continue to work on the different assets of your networking and job search, your resume, your profile, your branding. working with other people, trying to help them out, see where you can help make connections, and just continue to try to stay upbeat and doing something every day, moving forward to your next opportunity.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any other landings to announce? Anybody online? All right, we'll move on here. What we want everybody who's online right now, open up the chat window and put in your name, position you're looking for, give us your email, your LinkedIn address, phone number, city you're watching from, just so we can sort of have an idea wherever everybody is watching from. Give us 2 or 3 target companies. Maybe somebody else here will be able to help you out. And if you have connections at companies that you can help someone, please list those. So go ahead and open the chat window, put that in there, and I'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started. All right, if you're typing, just continue typing. That'll be great. Well, what we'll do now is we'll get everybody who's here in the room to come line up so you can say hi to the computer, and everybody here is online, and give us your 30-second introductions. Yep, tilt it down, and you turn on the mic too.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Phil Elsner. I'm a PMP Credential Project Manager. That's how I had the pleasure of meeting Michael at a PMI Dallas chapter meeting. Keep yourself involved in other networking groups as well. The more people you talk to, the better your chances of finding someone to help get you a job. I'm happy to help Michael. He's good people, and I really enjoyed meeting him at PMI Dallas chapter. My background is all biomedical sciences. All my degrees are there, and I've been working in IT and in project management until the great layoffs happened, and since then it's been family. But as executive producer of high school football games, that kept me busy for quite a while, but I was able to apply project management to that as well. Again, my name is Phil Elsner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Well, good morning, everybody. My name's Penn, like what you write with an extra N, Hoyt. I'm a B2B marketing director. I lead the teams to drive the leads, sales users to close the deals. I'm looking right now for, oh, that's even better. It's all about how you look, remember that. I'm looking for a contact at Vizient. And again, my name is Penn Hoyt. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tim Farrell. I'm looking for work as an electrical design verification engineer. I need contacts at Muon Space, where I had an interview this week with the hiring manager. Also, Tirana Wireless and Maven Systems. I have contacts at Raytheon, and my name is Tim Farrell.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is William McLaughlin. I'm currently seeking a business analyst role and currently looking for contacts at GameStop and Dave & Buster's. Again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jim Sinkovic. I am a corporate HR guy. Director of Total Rewards or Director of Benefits is the kind of role that I'm looking for. My most recent full-time role was at Vizient, so I'll connect with Penn here in a moment. Really, I'm looking for contacts. If there's an HR opening, I'm interested, but locally, Toyota would be an interesting company for me. Again, my name is Jim Sinkovic.
Thank you.
I'm Nikki Duncan. I am looking for Chief of Staff or Director of Operations type roles, project management, program management work too. This week, my target company, if anybody has a contact, is Girls Inc. And I have a diverse network, so I don't even know who I'm connected to. Ping me and I'll make introductions. My name is Nikki Duncan.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Christine White. I'm looking for a fixed asset accountant role. My name is Christine White.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kathleen McGregor, and I'm looking for a paralegal role. I don't have any target companies, but I'm looking for roles in corporate legal departments or law firms. And I have a lot of contacts in the banking industry. And again, my name is Kathleen McGregor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alkeisha Rodriguez. I'm looking for a technical business analyst role. I have contacts at Verizon and Communities Foundation of Texas. No target companies this week. Alkeisha Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Felisa Madden. I'm looking for roles that are in the risk and compliance or audit or process improvement space with titles like senior manager or director. I am targeting Equinix this week, if anybody knows anyone there, as well as Baker Tilly. I'll post my information in the text, in the chat, and I have contacts at AT&T and also at Grant Thornton. Again, my name is Felisa Madden.
Thank you.
Good morning, James Pence, Client Relationship Manager. As far as target companies, just any company that's looking to build upon their client relationship aspect that needs help, I'm happy to do so. And as far as any companies I'm happy to help with, just look upon my contacts, and I'm happy to help any way I can. Again, my name is James Pence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Brett Cooper. I'm an adolescent medicine physician looking for non-clinical roles in healthcare administration, insurance medical directors, or W-2 consulting. I don't have any target companies this week, but may be able to help you with either somebody at Children's or UT Southwestern, depending on the role. My name's Brett Cooper.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Larry Goldsticker. I am a retired sales executive. I'm on the SFG South Lake Focus Group leadership team, a panelist at Pit Crew. I am the only Larry Goldsticker in existence. Find me on LinkedIn. I'll connect however I can. I'm actually here today here to hear Nikki speak.
Thank you.
I used to be the only Matt Keelan on the planet, but there's a few of us now. My name is Matt Keelan. I'm an IT VP or director. I need contacts at Genius Road. I can help you with Grant Thornton or Sherry Beckert, Matt Keelan.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Okay, let's go online. Whoops. If you will, open up your little bar at the bottom and raise your hand, so that way I only call you once to do it. So Miguel, I'll let you start off.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Miguel Castillo. I'm a VP Director of Finance with extensive experience in FP&A and large-scale transformational experience for business units, multi-billion business units. I need contacts at Flowserve and Experian, and I have contacts at Amazon and American Airlines. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thank you. Michael Wise. Michael Wise. Michael Wilk, sorry.
Oh, okay. Good morning. My name is Michael Wilk. I'm looking for a senior or lead software quality engineer or quality manager position. My target companies are Raytheon, Collins Aerospace, SNC, and Boeing. My name is Michael Wilk.
Thank you. Desiree Martinez.
Sorry, having trouble coming off mute. And my camera is not working this morning for some reason, so apologies, everyone. My name is Desiree Martinez. I'm looking for a role as a chief of staff to the CIO, CTO, CFO, or CEO, or a program manager / project manager scrum role. I'm industry agnostic, kind of can work in all different areas. I am looking for a contact at GM Financial. I do have contacts at Sodexo and American Airlines, and I live in the North Fort Worth area. My name is Desiree Martinez.
Thank you. Lynn Turner.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lincoln Turner. I'm looking for any positions as a freelance instructional designer slash training specialist. I need contacts really for any businesses in the Dallas area, small, medium, corporate, whatever. I'm flexible in that regard. And I don't have any contacts at any companies this week. But again, my name is Lincoln Turner.
Thank you. Anthony.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Anthony Archery. I worked for Walmart for 16 and a half years, serving 4 different roles. And I have contacts at Walmart. My name is Anthony Archery.
Thank you. Gabriella.
Good morning. My name is Gabriela Villafaña. I'm looking for roles with commercial finance or pricing on the consumer goods products industry. I need contacts at any of them: Pepsi, KDP, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola. I have contacts at Southern Glazers, Wine and Spirits. My name is Gabriela Villafaña.
Thank you. Brian McGovern.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian McGovern. I am looking for a position as either an HR or benefits coordinator. I'm looking for contacts at Accenture, Crow, and the Southwest Airlines Pilot Association. My contacts are at Mr. Cooper, Korn Ferry, and Hilton. And once more, my name is Brian McGovern. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Miller.
Yeah, my name is Bill Miller. I'm looking for a VP or director position of software engineering. Need contacts at Visual Edge IT or PDI Technologies. I have contacts at Sohm, Mr. Cooper, and Assurant, and my name is Bill Miller.
Thank you. Kelsey Wise.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelsey Wise. I am looking for roles in operations and events planning. I'm currently a transitioning educator, so I'm open to really any sort of roles. I do have contacts at FedEx office, and I have been targeting Kendra Scott recently. But again, like I said, I'm pretty much open to anything right now. So again, my name is Kelsey Wise.
Thank you. Drew Puckett.
Hello, everybody. I'm Drew Puckett, and I'm seeking a marketing operations or data analytics role. And currently, I'm targeting Tango and Halo MD, among others. And I have contacts at Intel and ex-Intel contacts at some other technology companies. And my name is Drew Puckett.
Thank you very much. Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your Career Tip of the Week host. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition partner, senior recruiter, or senior corporate recruiter. And I need contacts at TIAA or T-Mobile. I have contacts at a variety of different places. So as we were connected, feel free to look at my contacts and let me know if you need a referral. And then again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Partner, Senior Recruiter, or Senior Corporate Recruiter. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Boudreau, Certified Planning, Inventory Management. Looking for a supply chain job specializing in inventory control or production planning. I'm in New Jersey, so I'm looking for either Central New Jersey or remotely. I don't have any target companies right now. My name is Scott Boudreau.
Thank you very much. Darren.
Hi, good morning. My name is Darren Rich. I am seeking positions as a financial analyst or FP&A. My target companies are GameStop and UT Southwestern, and I can help with contacts at SMU. Again, my name is Darren Rich. Thanks.
Thank you. Maria.
I'm muted. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Kabamalan. I'm looking for a
position in pharmaceutical companies as a medical director. So I need contacts at pharmaceutical companies, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Ipsen. I have contacts at the research department of UT Southwestern Medical Center. My name is Maria Cabamalan.
Thank you. Anybody else online?
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Chandra Thomas. I'm looking for an administrative analyst position. I don't have a target company right now. And again, my name is Chandra Thomas.
Thank you. Anybody else online? Last chance.
Yeah, this is Kirti. I am a product owner, business analyst, project manager, looking for banking industry target this week. Collins, RTX, Raytheon, as well as Dr. Pepper, Quick. If anybody has any contacts, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. All right, we'll move on here. We don't have any recruiters online, so we'll skip that.
Hey, Jeff, it's Rosina. I actually have a job lead, real quick.
Okay.
So the job leads that I have are listed for Woman to Woman Pregnancy Resource Center. It's in Denton. And the positions are an accounting manager, it's full-time, center administrative assistant, that's part-time, finance manager, full-time, development manager, I believe that's full-time, and nurse manager, that's part-time. And so I'm going to put all that information in the chat, and the links directly to those positions go to Indeed because that's where they're posted. And then the follow-up source as far as the point of contact, like I said, I'll put all of that in the chat.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Time to hear from the interview success workshop. Good morning, Walt.
Good morning. I am not Nikki Duncan. I am using her PC up at the front so that I can see you both online and in the room. So we look forward to hearing Nikki speak to us this morning. So who am I? Well, I am an interview success coach. I love helping people gain skills and confidence for a successful hiring interview. The definition of success is our ability to speak, demonstrate, and show who we are, what we do, and how we help. Those are the three key elements. And so I put together a workshop 25 years ago, and I used the model of I am, I do, I help, and how to sell ourselves. And so it is a learning interview. It is not a mock interview. It's learning how to sell. I do 2 people at a time. You have to be registered to attend. My LinkedIn About section gives you the details. My Yahoo email address is on my banner. Just send me an email to that and say, I'd like to register for the workshop, and I'll put you in the queue. Be glad to have you participate. So it's really focused on learning. It's more or less, I call it learning without squirming. Well, is it confidence that we lack? Is fear holding us back? I can help get your interviews on track so we can stop taking Prozac. I am Walt Glad.
Larry, do you want to talk about the pit crew? Yes.
You want me talking here, or where do you want me to look?
We'll let you so your way we're facing everybody.
Caught me off guard. So pit crew, practice interview team. Actually, it's where I met Jeff back in about 2017 when I was looking for a job. Our goal there is to help you be better. It's probably going to be, in all candor, one of the hardest interviews you're going to have, which is intentional because you can answer the easy questions. We don't have a job to offer you. What we can do is make you better at what you're doing. We say practice often. I actually, when I came through, I've been told I hold the record. I went through 7 times as a candidate. Every time I had a interview, I tried to get myself in. Meets in this room Wednesdays 1 to 3. We're running about 3 weeks out is the schedule there. And it's on the careerdfw.org website if you want to learn more information.
Great.
Thanks, Larry Goldsticker.
Thank you. And on the fourth Wednesday of the month, they meet online only, which they did 2 days ago. Right. Okay. Time for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning again, Jeff, and good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. All right, this week's career tip of the week is titled 10 Powerful ChatGPT Prompts for Job Seekers. And this article is being presented from Massis Staffing Solutions. Career DFW is not promoting them. We are just using this as an educational resource for you to be able to have more information on how to do a better job search. So this article, let's start off with the fact of artificial intelligence platforms. They can be a fantastic tool for job searching and career growth. Aside from forming sentences to putting that into your resume, they can spark ideas, streamlining processes, and organizing information that seem overwhelming at first glance. Using their abilities in natural language processing, tools like ChatGPT can help you land your next role. So how exactly can these platforms help you during your job search? Well, this article will focus on one accessible tool that can be used to improve your job applications. And so keep reading to learn about powerful ChatGPT prompts for job seekers like yourself. So ChatGPT as a valuable tool for professional candidates. ChatGPT is, as you know, an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI, and it uses natural language processing to generate human-like text responses. And it was initially released in November of 2022 as a free speech preview and quickly gained popularity. It reached over 100 million users within its first 2 months, making it one of the fastest growing consumer applications in history. Well, ChatGPT is primarily designed for writing tasks, but it doesn't mean that its capacity is limited to making just paragraphs. Beyond content creation, ChatGPT can assist in reviewing documents for accuracy and offering personalized responses based on specific user needs. And as a candidate, you need to remember that although tools like ChatGPT are increasingly effective, job searching remains fundamentally a human process. So to succeed in a job search, you need to be strategic. Be responsible when you use your available tools like ChatGPT to enhance your chances of getting hired. Now, before I go into the strategies, I want to just say I use a ChatGPT tool, such as you've known over the last couple of weeks, I've been presenting information from Google Gemini. So don't just limit it to just going and logging into ChatGPT. Use your favorite artificial intelligence tool. All right, so to continue on with the article, there are 5 strategies and 10 ChatGPT prompts to use. Under each of these 5 strategies, there are 2 specific prompts listed under each one. They are quite lengthy, so I'm just going to read one of the ChatGPT prompts along with just letting you know what the 5 strategies are. So whether you have experience using ChatGPT prompts before or you're considering using the tool for the first time, the following are effective strategies and prompts to use to your advantage. So first, you want to get career development suggestions. And that's basically, you're going to explore alternative career options that are valuable tools to use during your job searches because it expands your opportunities beyond obvious choices. And so there's an additional article to read. It's called 5 Ways You Can Tackle Your Own Personal Career Growth. And so that would be your first strategy is getting career development suggestions. Second, understanding transferable skills. AI tools like ChatGPT can identify transferable skills from your background and explain how they apply to new industries or roles that you're targeting. Understanding these capabilities is crucial when entering your new roles and especially when changing careers or industries. And there's not an alternative article on that one. So we'll continue on. The third strategy is receive upskilling recommendations. Using its ability to analyze large data sets, ChatGPT can examine job descriptions from your target field and identify the specific skills employers are looking for. This powerful tool can even recommend relevant courses or resources that you can use to develop your professional capabilities. And an additional article would be Quit Being a Cliche, Skills to Delete from Your Resume or LinkedIn right now. The fourth strategy would be improving your resume and cover letters. ChatGPT can help tailor your resume and cover letter by emphasizing relevant experiences and achievements that align with specific job requirements. Customizing application materials for each position can dramatically improve your chances of securing interviews. So the additional article to read would be Resumes of Champions, things that should be on every resume. And then this is the one place that I'm going to read what the prompt is, because like I said, each of these strategies have 2 prompts, but they're lengthy. So for this one, let's see. Before expecting a scheduled interview, you need to catch the attention of hiring managers through your resume. So consider using the following prompts to further improve your documents. So in your request to ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whatever your favorite AI tool is, here's your prompt. I need to create an accomplishment-focused resume for a competitive, and put in your job title, position. My work history includes roles as, and then you list your previous positions. For each position, here is a basic responsibility, and then you list your duties for each of your roles. And then you ask it to transform these generic duties into powerful accomplishment statements using the PAR, problem, action, and result framework, and then incorporate 5 to 7 industry-specific keywords throughout the resume. That is just one of the prompts. So see how it's lengthy? All right, and then the 5th strategy is prepare for an interview or for a job interview. Already, have you, you have an interview coming up? Well, remember that practice makes perfect, especially when it comes to interviewing. And so aside from talking to yourself in the mirror or asking for help from your loved ones, using AI can also be an effective way to prepare for an interview. And again, there's 2 more prompts here listed for you to gain some assistance. And then an alternative article would be common interview questions and how to answer them. So again, this article has been produced by Masses Staffing Solutions, and their articles, the alternative articles, are all listed in their blog. And again, this is 10 powerful chat GPT prompts for job seekers. I hope this information helps you guys, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you very much. All right, today for lunch, we're going to go to Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road. It's on the northwest corner of Parker and Independence. They've got burgers, chicken sandwiches, and more. And I don't know what that came up for. So you can come join us for that. All right. If you want to receive today's materials, you'll get a copy of the speaker's presentation, a link to the YouTube Career USA recording, just so you can go back and watch this or refer it to a friend. You'll get a copy of the Career Tip of the Week, a copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you do that for everybody who's new, if you filled out a little white slip of paper, and as long as it's legible, I will get you added to the contact list. For everybody who's online, please make sure you've got your email address in one of the messages that you posted on the website so I can get you included in that. Here are a bunch of people who have somehow slipped through and didn't submit a resume, a email address. So if you're one of these people, please give us your email address so I can take you from being unknown on the contact list to getting information on there. All right, it's time for our main event. If you have any questions while Nikki's talking, you can raise your hand or enter your question. We'll get them answered for you. So today she's going to talk about identifying your brand and your value proposition. So let me give her my mic.
Can you hear me? I often don't think I need mic'd, but you know, my family would say I don't. All right, let me get myself set up here. Jeff, do I have permission to share? Cool. All right. Am I sharing? I'm sharing. Cool beans. Now hang on. Trying to find my Zoom again real quick. He needs to raise the volume on me? Oh my gosh. I mean, I can talk louder. Okay, I can't see the chat, so somebody's going to have to tell me if there are questions. Let me make that. Oh, hang on. Clicking the wrong thing. Okay. So, somebody asked me today what I'm talking about today, and today I'm talking about you. It's all about you, who you are, what your brand is, and how to identify your value proposition. I have heard in my time going to Frisco Connect, South Lake Focus Group, and even this meeting online, I have heard people say, you know, as we talk about finding the job instead of a job, I've heard people say, I don't have time to wait for the job. I need a job. I don't have the luxury of figuring out who I am. I just need a paycheck. I've got mouths to feed, a roof to keep over my head, you know, all of these things we all have to deal with, right? And I get that. And I will tell you that I have been on this job hunt for 14 months now, going on 15. And it got easier when I figured out who the heck I am, what I bring to the table, and what I want and what I don't want, right? It's just as easy. It's just as important to know what we don't want as what we do want. And I heard somebody online saying that they are looking for a chief of staff job. And I know most of you have probably heard me say I'm looking for a chief of staff job. Chances are that she and I do not bring the same thing to the same role. So we each have our own unique thing, and that's what we're going to talk about today is how to figure out your unique thing. Now I can see faces. It's the little things in the room, y'all. So getting into who you are is kind of tricky. You have to know your values that you stand for, know your purpose, own your path, and own your mindset. My husband asks me all the time, he says, I don't know how you're staying so positive during this whole thing. It's terrible. It's taking forever. You keep, you know, getting rejected and you just keep smiling and you just keep going. And I said, well, you know, the alternative is to be, you know, in a corner crying, curled up in a ball. Right? That's the alternative, cry in a corner. But it helps when you figure out who you are and what you want and what you bring to the table and you know your value going into everything. It helps protect your mindset. Whether you ever do the things that I do the way that I do them or not, that's not the point. The point is knowing who you are and what works for you. And and finding the clarity, right? We all need that clarity. So that's what we're going to do today. And the first step that I did in finding my clarity was to learn my story. And to learn my story, at first, I struggled, like I think so many people do, with write my resume, rewrite my resume, write my resume, rewrite my resume, over and over, rinse and repeat a million times. I think I had 45 versions of my resume. It was crazy. And then I attended a summit online, and this resume writer was speaking, and he said, stop trying to write your resume. Write your story. Open a Word document or Notepad, whatever document on your computer. Open a document on your computer and write about you, your story, your first day at your first job. What was that? My first day at my first job, I was a groom for a horse trainer. Matt's laughing at me. Hey, that paid my way through competitions. And, but that's part of my story, right? That paid my way through competitions. That is how I earned the horse that I rode. I was 16 years old. I was working as a groom. I had to buy my own horse, and then I had to train that horse. And that horse came into the barn with a letter that said, don't let anybody ride him. He'll kill them. And this is the horse they gave me. They said, here, you can buy him for $750. I was like, woohoo! You know, I'm an idiot. What do I know? We go to groom the horse. My mom put him in the cross ties, which if you don't know, is to put the halter on, you've got a tie on each side of their face. Mom put him on the cross ties. The second she put the girth and went to tighten the girth up, the horse lunges forward, flips over, and is laying on his back in the cross ties. Mom was like, holy cow. So we released the quick snips, get the horse up. He's fine. He's just an idiot. He's just a fool. No horses were harmed in the saddling experiment. Exactly. So we get him up and we say, okay, you know what? We're not using the cross ties anymore. So we just kind of started at the ground and worked our way up. And by doing that, that meant that Mom and I lugged the saddle and all of the tack out to the arena, to the round pen. And we literally, she would lunge the horse and I would walk beside the horse, putting the saddle on him and girthing him up while he was moving. And it took us about 6 months to work our way back to the grooming slip where he would stand and take the saddle like a gentleman. And everything else we put together. But through that process, that horse taught me one of the basic lessons that in all of my self-reflection goes through everything I do. You have to earn trust. And one of the things I do is I tame chaos, and I build people first systems. And I can't build people first systems if I don't have the trust of the people I serve. And that horse taught me that. And so that's the very beginning of my story, right? So, I mean, every single job, everything that you did, it all has a story in it, and you can weave that out. And whether it is a direct correlation or skill for your job, it may or may not be for what you're looking for, but it helps find the underlying message of who you are that's unique to you. So I went through that process and I did every job, everything that I could remember about every job. Y'all, my document is like 70 pages long. The other things that I did, I talked in my story about being a parent. You learn a lot of lessons about leadership from being a parent. Raise an undiagnosed ADHD child and you learn a few more. You know, kids with different hobbies and habits, and you know, those kids will teach us lessons, and I have my parent lessons are in my story. And you know, just anything and everything. When I was going to school this last year to get my degree, I used prior learning assessment journals to earn college credit. And I used those journals and put those journals in there. And so I wrote the journals. They're 13 pages a piece or some ridiculousness. I put those journals in my story. And then when I went for my PMP certification, I had to provide verification of my experience as a project manager. What projects did I do? What were the lessons learned? So on and so forth. If you're a PMP, you get it. You're nodding your head. Yes, he gets it. I put my project plans that I put together as part of my PMP certification process. I put my project management plans in there. It's all in there. And then from that, I'm able to start using prompts to help me figure out what I did, who I am, what is one core theme that runs across everything I do personally, professionally, and everything else. Because if we don't know who we are, it's not going to matter how good our resume, how ATS friendly our resume is. We're going to look like everybody else. And the same goes through interviews, right? So then we're going to get into, I've got my story written, and then I did some self-reflection. And you don't have to spend weeks or months on this. Y'all, you can do it in a day or two, if that long. And some of them you're going to be able to go through fast. So some of my self-reflection that I just did sitting on my back porch in an evening or two or morning or whatever. I needed to know what brings me joy. And some of these things were especially easier after I'd written my story. And you don't have to write all the questions down if you don't want. I have a QR code later that you can scan and download all of this stuff in a PDF. But if you want to write it down, go for it. What brings you joy? What skills not learned come naturally to you? You can learn skills, but some of them you're just born with. What did you most enjoy about your last role? What motivates you to keep going when things get hard? What does career growth look like for you? What does success look like in your own words? Is it a job title? Is it a paycheck? Is it the impact you make in the job? What patterns show up in your life and work? And these questions, I actually took these questions and went a little bit farther and interviewed other people that I had worked with, my previous manager or coworkers, even some of my family, because your family, I'll be really honest with you, right? Oh, sometimes you don't want to hear it, but you know, and even in the room like this, right? What was your first impression of me? What skills seem to come naturally to me? And these answers always show a different part of me than what I ever thought. What did you most enjoy about working with me? What is one thing I could work on or strengthen? And what's the most valuable thing you have gained from knowing me? And be open to just listening and writing down their answers and taking the hard if it comes with hard and accept the good if it comes with good and hope it comes with good. It'll come with good. And then my last ones that I did were, what is your unique perspective? What is the story that only I can tell? And what is the value that only I offer? And so once I answered all of these things, and some of them are harder than others, and these last three, honestly, if you just can't come up with it, AI can help you with them. Once you've got your career story in one massive Word document and you put it in AI, AI can help you answer these things and pull out questions and help you figure it out, right? So once I've got all of those, then it's time to start using my career story and my answers. And so I put it into AI and I say, using my career story and the questions and answers provided, what would you say is my brand in approximately 15 to 20 minutes? 20 words, sorry. And this is AI's answer for me. Heart-led operations leader driving strategic clarity and measurable impact by empowering people, the key to every success. That's not how I would word it, but it's pretty good, right? I mean, it's a good start for me. So my brand is that I lead operations from the heart. I like clarity, measurable impact, and I believe that everybody needs to be empowered, because if we don't think about the people first, well, it doesn't matter what we're doing there. So that's my brand. So that's cool. All right. So from there, I want to take my brand and I still need to develop it a little bit more, right? I can use that brand to find my 10-second interview or my 30 or 60-second interview, or use it to, kind of go through the tips that Rosina was talking about earlier, streamlining your resume and getting ready for interviews. I just used some of this stuff yesterday to get ready for an interview, and I think it went very well. But anyway, so one of my AI prompts that I use is from my career story, self-reflection, question and answers, and brand identification. Summarize my unique value proposition in 30 to 50 words in a voice that sounds distinctly human. Does not use M dashes, because I'm probably going to put this on LinkedIn. However, I know M dashes is like a whole thing. I'm also a published author, and I use M dashes all the time in my books. But that's just whatever. I don't put it on I don't put the M dashes on stuff online because I know there's a thing, and I don't want people to think I didn't write my own stuff. No hallucinating beyond the materials I have provided for you. Don't make crap up. Use what I gave you and nothing else. Write it in first person. Take into account my top 5 Clifton strengths, which are learner, responsibility, intellectual, achiever, and belief. And so from that, and I just upload all the documents to go with it, right? And then from that, AI gives me a value proposition. I'm a heart-led operations leader who learns fast, thinks deeply, and follows through. I take ownership of what matters, lead with integrity, and build systems that empower people to thrive. Rooted in purpose and driven by impact, I turn complexity into clarity to help teams succeed together. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, this is like her 3rd or 4th one, because I kept telling her she was crazy. I'm like, you didn't do what I said, you didn't follow the rules, whatever. So I kept chastising her, making her go deeper. And you can do that. You can take the prompt and just tweak it. That's not what I asked you to do. Do this. I told you to do this and you didn't do this. And this is still not how I would write it if I was writing it, but you kind of get the gist. You have a question. Hallucinate. What is hallucinate? AI tends to hallucinate and make stuff up. I tell her not to hallucinate, and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And it's funny how we give them identifications, right? I have a friend who named hers. I'm like, I'm not naming it. Anyway, so just take the root of your value proposition, and this really helps start out my career summary on my resume. It helps start out my about section in my LinkedIn profile. And I've got a 1-page bio sheet that if I really wanted to redo it, and I don't, I could tweak and use it for a 1-page bio, right? You can use this value proposition all kinds of places, but it should answer the question, why do you want to hire me instead of that person? Is kind of what your value proposition is. So from there, I'm going to go in and create my 10-second introduction, which if you've attended South Lake Focus Group, we use these a lot. So there I'm going to say, let's take my brand identity and my value proposition and turn it into a 10-second intro using the information I've provided you and one outstanding metric from my resume. So now I'm going to give it my resume that has my metrics in it. And if you don't have those yet, we'll get there. Write it like a human and in first person. Again, no hallucinating. Don't be making stuff up about me. Beyond what I've given you. My name should go at the start and the end of the intro. And don't forget to use my narrative voice. And if you don't know what your narrative voice is, everybody's got one. But when you wrote your career story out, that was your narrative voice. And so when you upload that into chat or Gemini or whatever, you just taught chat what your narrative voice is. And so when you have uploaded a document and say, do it in my voice, it's going to say, oh, okay. And it's going to have a clue what you actually sound like and the kind of words you use. I don't use a lot of 10-syllable words, though every now and then we would throw out words like katzenjammer in my house. That's a fun word. Does anybody know what it means? You do know what it means? It means an uproar. I heard my youngest daughter one day was yelling at the dog and she's like, "What's the Katzenjammer?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" Oh, she made it up. It's a real word. Anyway, use my narrative voice. Don't make stuff up. And if AI is using words that you don't know the definition to, hey, it's not your voice. So my 10-second intro. I'm Nikki Duncan, an operations specialist. I tame chaos, clear ambiguity, and use strategic communications to build people-first systems that deliver results. I'm Nikki Duncan. Some of you have heard that 1,000 times already. And time it. I put a timer to it. Before I ever get on the weekly call with Larry, I'm timing my intros. Keisha's laughing. She knows. So now I want to expand that because I want to be able to talk about myself longer than 10 seconds, but I don't want to talk too long about myself because, well, nobody's going to listen to that. So let's take my brand identity, my value proposition, and turn it into a 60-second introduction using the information I've already provided. This prompt is exactly the same as the 10-second. The only thing I changed is I changed 10 seconds to 60 seconds. That's all I changed. And don't forget to use my narrative voice. That's a big deal for me. Yes, Larry. How fast I talk? I talk really fast. It doesn't, it just assumes that it knows. It assumes it knows how fast you talk, but that's why I time it. Sometimes it'll give me a script and it'll say, here's your 10-second script, and I'll test it. I'm like, yeah, that's 18 seconds. We're going to need to, I'm like, that's 18 seconds. We need to shorten that. Or that's 5 seconds. We can lengthen that, or, whatever. And it's the same thing when you're doing prompts for LinkedIn. You can say, write me a powerful about summary for my LinkedIn profile about, all of this stuff, and it'll make something up. But if you don't remember to put the parameter in there of, I have 2,600 characters, then it's going to be either 10 miles long or it's going to be 30 words. And the same thing about the career summary at the top of your resume. If you don't put a parameter in there of how long you want that, well, AI is just going to keep writing forever. And yeah. Yep. However many seconds I want to do, however many seconds, however many words, however many characters, you can change that 60-second intro to a, whatever. And when you're preparing for your interview, you can use the same kind of prompt and say, using all of this material and this job description, help me prepare for this interview. And I want all of my questions to be, and here's my pit crew training. I want none of my questions to be longer than 90 seconds. And I want it to end with a question that kicks it back to the interviewer. See, I pay attention. So you can teach the AI to pay attention, right? Sometimes, and honestly, I forget to use the question in the interview. You give a question. Can I give a deeper dive into narrative voice? Narrative voice is how you speak. You have a way that you talk. I have a way that I talk. Matt has a way he talks. Walt likes poems. Matt is just funny. Mr. Hussar back there, Mr. USA, Paul has his way. There are things unique about the way we speak, right? Some people are just naturally more serious. I don't use a lot of 10-syllable words, but I have a close friend who does. She likes those $20 words. And I'm always like, a what now? And she says, well, a blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, as a matter of fact, no, I don't know what that is, but thanks. So your narrative voice is how you write. And the other part of it, narrative voice, is when you are actually typing a document out, do you write in short sentences or do you write in long block sentences? Do you do 2 or 3 sentences in a paragraph, or do you do 6-sentence paragraphs, right? We all have our narrative voice and we all talk differently. If you read, do you have favorite authors? Mark Twain versus Charles Dickens. There you go. Mark Twain versus Joseph Fender, who's a thriller writer. Everybody has their own their own style, their own voice, the own way of speaking. And that comes across in how we write. And so when you've taken the time to put your career story together, it's going to figure that out. And if you're a project manager and you've written project management plans, your narrative voice is in your project management plan. If, Jeff has written a book, Jeff could upload that book. That's his narrative voice. AI is going to figure it out. Oh, I get how Jeff talks. Okay, I can do that. So you train it. You can train it to talk like you. Yeah. Are there any questions online? Okay. So we have our 60-second intro. I'm not going to read this to y'all because honestly, I'd be reading slides all day. But my 60-second intro, it's a solid start of how I talk and words I use. It's not too far off from me. I would tweak it a little bit for real life use. But that's the whole point, is to just use your career story to get you started. After that, I want to use the materials to write a answer the tell me about yourself question using the I am, I do, I help formula. The answer can be up to 90 seconds long, no longer. Make it sound human in first person, no hallucinations. Add a question at the end that I can use to make the interview more conversational. Take the included job description, and so here I'm going to upload a job description with it into account. Make sure my experience that overlaps or transfers is showcased briefly. And let's include that I love working in X because of Y. Right? I love working in operations management because I really get excited when I get to streamline processes and make things better for people. And so, I would fill in that last sentence with, why am I passionate about this kind of work? And as a starting off place, this is a purely business. Tell me about you. I'm an operation leader who thrives on turning chaos into clarity. Across my career, I never say for the last 20 years because that automatically ages me. I say across my career. I've built systems that work for people because I believe people are the key to every success. I streamline operations, align cross-functional teams, and lead with empathy and accountability. If I wanted, I can put in one of my metrics in there, and I change that depending on the job that I'm interviewing for and whatnot. I help leaders scale sustainably by taking ownership of the details that power bigger picture goals. I love working in operations because I'm passionate about making work more human by creating systems that help people show up, do their best, and grow. If this isn't an interview, then I could flip that around and say, I'd really love to hear what kind of leadership support or strategic alignment, would make the biggest difference to your team right now. Or any other question that naturally flows from your tell me about you to the job description based on who you're interviewing with. Does that make sense? So for a slightly more personal about me, which I used a version of this next one in an interview yesterday, I grew up in the middle. And as soon as I said I grew up in the middle, the lady says, so was I. So we instantly connected over being middle children. I said, oh, so you get it. She says, I do get it. She goes, I'm sorry, go ahead. I said I was shaped by instability and I built a career the hard way. I come at it, now I come with a hard-won clarity that allows me to lead with empathy and strength. I built my career, well, I changed that up a little bit. When I built my career, I didn't have a degree, though I earned that this last year. And then, I lead with empathy and clarity, and there's some repetitiveness in here. And when you're talking, it comes out different naturally anyway. So, it's like they say at the pit crew, practice often, practice early, practice often. So practice early, practice often, and this just it just comes out differently for the different job. I turn chaos into structure. Everyone involved gets better systems, conversations, alignment, and support. I've walked into inboxes that feel like ticking time bombs, processes no one could explain, and teams on the edge of burnout. And I've brought them calm, clarity, and results. I help organizations grow without grinding people down in the process. And then yada, yada, yada. AI thinks I should add this to this last line. My job isn't to be the hero. My job is to build systems that don't need a hero. That's not how I talk. So that doesn't come out of me naturally. That sounds a little arrogant. So do what? It is a great line though, right? It's not my job to be a hero. It's my job to make it so we don't need heroes. Let's see, that already came out different. But that's the point, right? Just use AI to get you started. Don't let it think for you. Just let it help you kind of get launched into going. And it all hinges on how thorough your career story is. Now, additional prompts for optimizing your brand and your value proposition. And again, you don't have to write these down. They're all downloadable because some of them get long. Once I had my career story, I used that thing for interview prep, for job applications, resumes, my LinkedIn profile optimization. I use that story and value proposition and everything on every single section of my LinkedIn profile. My about section, I used it all. And then I'm like, okay, now we're going to work on this job. And now we're going to work on this job. And now we're going to work on this job. And I use AI to help me, and then I reword it because I don't like the way she writes. The other thing I do is identify my skills, right? For every job we're targeting, we need to identify our skills and how the skills we bring to the table correlate to the skills they need in the job. From these 5 to 10 jobs, so I start with 5 or 10 jobs that I have found online that I would target. I put them all in one document and I throw them all into chat and say, from these 5 to 10 jobs, provide a list of the top 20 most common skills or competencies that are needed for this kind of role. From the top 20, I also need the top 5 that I must absolutely have or be working on. Those top 5 are going to go in the top of my profile, and the other 20 are going to be, I'm going to make sure that I have those in my skills section on my profile. And I'm going to alphabetize or prioritize the first 5, and then everything else is just alphabetized. It's a pain in the neck. It takes time, but it works. So identify the skills. Yes, Larry. So the question is, do I ever do that when there might be transferable skills that you might not realize? And yes, I absolutely do. When I am applying for a job, because I have trained chat with my career story, I can tell chat, find skills that transfer or directly correlate with this job. And let's put it either in my cover letter or my application or in the questions in the application, why are you good for this role? But it's not, whatever, not part of the resume. I will have chat go through my career story and help me find transferable skills, like the lessons I learned training that horse and how those transfer to how I lead people today. Matt still thinks that's so funny. I can rein in those troubled honchos. There you go. I can rein in those troubled honchos. I'm glad this is recorded because I'll forget that later. But I can, I was in a meeting one time. We had like 100 people in the room and some of them got kind of rowdy. And I just turned and looked at one of the gentlemen in the room and he says, shutting up. You can take a 1,000-pound animal down. I'll shut up now. I was like, my horses know not to mess with me. So come on now. But yeah, I mean, but see, that's just the whole thing, right? There's all kinds of stuff. And I could even use that. I attended a workshop online one time about resume writing. And his tip in the career summary was keep it short, 30 to 50 words or so, and include one fact in the summary that nobody really knows about you, that is not on your profile. And so in there, I could put, just as an aside, I once trained a horse deemed too dangerous. And people read the resume summary and they go, wait, tell me about this story. And the one that is normally on it is, I once heard at a llama in a consulting call. And people are like, tell me about this llama thing. What's that about? But it's just something that gets people to go, now wait, what? Now if I become known as the llama girl or llama lady, I'm the llama lady. And it's not my llama and it doesn't live there. So I really shouldn't deserve to be called the llama lady, but you get the point, right? It's any little thing that can help you differentiate. I mean, what is just one crazy, wild thing that you can just hack on in there? And both of those stories still connect back to my career, my professional career and who I am as a leader. So, but this is how I get to my skills. A resume draft. I am not reading this prompt, y'all. It's long, but we're going to create a resume and we're going to make it concise, impactful, yada, yada, yada. My bullet points should be front loaded. I want my metrics at the beginning of my bullet points. And on my resume, I highlight every number so that it's bold. It's bolded. I don't highlight it. It's bold. Every number is bold. And I give it instructions like when strategy is more important, let's lead with how I impacted or transferred. If a metric is more important, let's lead with the metric. If something from the top 20 list that I previously did, the top 20 skills, needs to be listed on the competency and skills section, let's make sure that that's here, or look for transferable skills, right? I kind of tweak it. We're looking for the skills that connect to the job. We're looking for it doesn't matter if they're transferable or direct. If they're in my experience, they're things that I have and I can bring it. And then my parameter at the end of, for every skill and job section, help me create a brief overview of the job description. So I had my job, at the UPS store area office. I had one title for 26 years. Well, that's not real impressive on a resume. It looks like I never grew or changed at all. So I had to break my resume out into my program and project management work and my change management work and my chief of staff roles and my administrative assistant duty and my training and development duties. So I broke it out into sections. So yeah, I had the same job for 27 years, but I did all these things. And so under each section, I did a summary, no more than 2 sentences of what that role included. And then I have, I think, 2 or 3 bullets for each section. No more than 2 or 3 bullets on my resume. And at the top of it, after the resume is done, and I don't think I have a prompt in here for it, but after my resume was done, at the top of my resume, I had ChatGPT go through my career story and my resume and pick my career highlights, my greatest hits, if you will. And my greatest hits live at the very top of my resume. So on my resume, it's my name, my career summary, my greatest hits, and then my skills, and then everything else about my experiences below it. Because if recruiters are only going to read the first half of the page, I want them to see those metrics where I scaled a business to $25 million. And I want them to see those impressive things that I did. And so I put 4 or 5 bullets at the top so that they don't miss them. Okay. Other ones, resume metrics and gaps. If you don't know where your metrics are and you don't know what impact you made and you just don't know how to quantify it, once you've got the story written, you can have chat or whatever. You can have AI ask you detailed questions to help you think and determine your impact, your success, and your metrics. Not everything is measured in a number. Sometimes it is measured in the impact you left on the people. What fell apart when you left? And so sometimes that's all you have to identify and, pinpoint where my career story shows gaps between my experience and the jobs I'm targeting. So I run a gap analysis on just about every job I apply to. So that's one of the ways, if you're having a hard time coming up with metrics and you're not sure how well suited you are for a job, you can ask chat to help you do that and run a gap analysis. My LinkedIn profile, now that my resume is solid, help me flesh out my LinkedIn profile based only on my career story and the jobs I'm targeting. I need to optimize, and I did each section, right? And then just give it whatever parameters. We're limited to 2,600 characters. And then we will move on to my experience section to flesh out what is in the resume to provide more detail. So we have more space on our LinkedIn profile to go into detail, right? And the more keywords we have on our LinkedIn profile, the better off we are that recruiters are going to find us. For my cover letter, based on my career story, without duplicating relevant points in my resume, help me write a cover letter in my narrative voice, lean into the gaps. If there are gaps or transferable skills, I want to lean into those and get ahead of it. I realize I've not worked in healthcare, but here's what I can do for you and bring to this role. And I lean into it. Every now and then, depending on the job, sometimes I'll include a T format, which is like a 3-column. I use a 3-column table on the cover letter, especially if I'm giving it to somebody via email and I don't have to get it past an ATS. I will use that and it'll say, this is the skill you're looking for. This is what I did. This is the skill you're looking for. This is where I brought it, and this was the result. And so I'll just queue it up, and I get those basically come from my star stories, and it kind of queues it up. And I've had people looking at my resume or my cover letter saying, tell me about this one. And so I've already done the work, and it queues them up and gives them my stories ahead of time that we want to talk about. And then I have AI prompts if I'm sending someone a personal email, that I am trying to get in front of for a job. I've got prompts for that. I've got prompts that I used in the beginning, especially to help me figure out my star stories, whether you call it a star or rats or cars or scar or whatever you call it, scar, whatever you call it. I'm here to entertain Matt today, y'all. Thanks. But it can really, it'll take that career summary and it'll help you find your stories out of it and help you frame your stories and talk about those stories. And there's even one to help you dig for the stories. I've either provided the stories or we need to dig for the stories. Because sometimes we cannot get out of our own head and stop overthinking things. So AI can do that. Here's a prompt for the job gap analysis that I talked about. I'll put my resume and a job description in and say, run a gap analysis. Tell me where I fit, where I don't fit, where are the holes, whatever. And if you want to have a little bit of extra fun, and I don't know where I heard this from, but tell AI to write your responses in the voice of your favorite character. Oh, from the movie Home, or Jack Sparrow. That one's really funny. You have Jack Sparrow write your your gap analysis. Dory from Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. It's kind of fun, right? So you may as well have some fun with it. How do you protect your mindset? You have a little bit of fun. Let's see what else. A resume tweak for a job. My resume, I feel, is pretty solid. But again, based on my gap resume, let's review my career story and my resume and see where I need to tweak. Am I missing any skills? Do I need to reword my highlights, my key milestones? Do I need to reword those to use the verbiage of this job or this company? And just kind of tweak it a little bit. Not a lot. The top third of my resume gets the attention. Nothing underneath it gets changed. I just changed the top part. My skills, my summary, and my greatest hits. That's all I changed. And here's the QR code I promised, that if you scan this QR code, it will download all of the reflection questions and the prompts to you in a PDF, and Jeff will email it out tomorrow if you don't want to download it. I still see cameras, so I'm waiting. Okay, one more. He's still taking a picture. Did you get it? Is it working for you? Okay. Sometimes you have to walk up to the screen. It's kind of ridiculous, but Jeff has it in PDF and he'll email it out when he puts it all online, right? Okay. I would love it if you enjoyed this or anything else you've heard from me, if you would go to my LinkedIn profile and give me a recommendation. You know, help keep that thing going, right? And are there any questions? And if we're not connected, connect with me.
Hey, I've got one a little bit off point, way back at the very beginning, when you're talking about what jobs brought you joy, what you didn't like to do. Did you figure out what you didn't want to do, and how did you do that?
I did figure out what I did not want to do and what I enjoyed most. And part of how I figured that out was in listening to people that I have worked with in those self-reflection questions and the interview questions. When I said, what did I do well? What do I need to work on? You know, those kinds of things. Their responses really helped spotlight. Well, you know, I mean, one person was like, well, you know, you were always kind of crabby when you had to do this. Oh, well, that's because I absolutely hated that. Okay, so I don't want to do that, you know? So yes, I did figure out what I don't want and what I do want. And part of that goes into where I want to work. What does my ideal work setting look like? Do I thrive in a quiet corner somewhere, or do I thrive sitting in the mix of cubicle central? And for the record, me, I'm the quiet corner kind of person. But that's part of it, right? That kind of helps me figure out how I fit with the job. You know, what is my work environment going to be like? Am I going to be in person? Am I going to be at home? Am I going to be, you know, whatever. And one of the things that I didn't love to do is I really don't want to travel very much. I'm not a travel person. And that includes driving to downtown Dallas all the time. I always hated when I had to drive to downtown Dallas for stuff. I would have franchisees say, hey, can we meet at 9 a.m.? I'm like, God, no. No, we can't. You are way South Dallas and I am way north of everything. And no, I would be there at 11. So it's just little stuff like that. What I like, what I don't like will really help me kind of target in a job. And so when I see a job that says, oh, this is 50% travel, I'm like, next, moving on. So yeah, interviews are helpful for that. Question.
I heard in your intro that for the past 15 months, you've had your eyes open for the next perfect job, right?
Yep.
Okay. Number one, I hope it's a while before you get it so you can continue to have the time to speak to groups like ours. You're very welcome. It doesn't help pay the bills, but it helps your brand be better distributed. How can you use AI, or how do you use AI to help you find the actual delta between what you want and can present and what the companies that say no really want to get.
How do I use AI to close the gap between what I want and
Oh,
why they say no?
Right, the companies that say, no, you're not the one for this job. You referred a while ago to being able to find out what the impact of your presence at previous places had been after you left. I've never really had the opportunity to have someone on the inside that would tell me that because they're afraid of their jobs.
I got it. In my case, again, same job, 27 years. And I was the one who had to close out the job when my boss said she's selling the company, she's shutting everything down. I got to close it all down. And I was still doing a little bit of stuff for her on the back end. And, you know, that all of those things that she had to do to close out her business, I was still doing that stuff on the back end when she passed away. So, in a super unique, rare situation, I have all the data. I have all the records. I also knew I had a 3-month heads up that she was selling the company. And so I had 3 months to go through the data myself and pull that data. So if you know it's coming, pull the data. Yeah, if you don't know it's coming, it's a lot harder. So my advice to that would be moving forward, because you don't know, you don't have that now and you can't really change that. My advice moving forward is track your own data as you go, because I will never not track my own data again as I go, because it was a pain in the neck to go back and figure it all out. And some of it, you know, I just kind of remembered, you know, there were learning and development programs that we did. And I was the one who initially did the training, and I had to track that training for the next 12 years. And so I spent 12 years tracking it, and I just know what our metrics were because I was reporting on it weekly. So if you just know what your metrics were because you were reporting on it regularly or whatever, then it's a little easier. But again, sometimes you can't find the metric in a number form. So you have to figure out in a different way, what impact did I bring? Somebody might not be able to share with you the numbers because they're afraid of their job, but what impact did I bring to the team as a person? And that may be the best you can do. Which sometimes, if we're looking for leadership skills and roles that, and things that transfer over, sometimes that's more important than any metric, you know? How do the people, yeah, your soft skills, your emotional intelligence, how do the people think, how do the people feel about you? And I feel pretty confident, minus, I don't know, maybe 5. I feel pretty confident that you could walk into the UPS store in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and say, is your owner here today? And if they say, yeah, I'm the owner, say, what did you think about Nikki Duncan? I feel confident enough to say, walk into a store, ask for the owner, ask them what they thought about me. And you're not going to hear much bad. One guy used to say, I really love her in her office. I don't want her in my store. And he didn't want me in his store because I was like, these are the rules. You're breaking the rules. That's a no. And he didn't like that because I wasn't afraid to give him the no. He loved Nikki in her office. So, I mean, that's part of it, right? You know, what impact did you leave behind? And I see we also have a hand in the room. Christy, we'll get to you right after Brett.
Yeah. So Matt, close your ears. So as somebody who doesn't trust AI, and always, if I do anything in ChatGPT, use the little temporary chat so my data is not used. I ran into an issue, for example, with some of Trevor's prompts, because it's like, I can't create this for you. So as with some of your things, do you have any suggestions or advice on, or run into issues for some people if you're not allowing it to use your data and just doing these temporary chats where it's not storing it?
I have never not allowed it. I pay for ChatGPT, and I have gone so far as to build a custom GPT that is just for the job search. And I have trained it on all of these things. This is what you may do. This is what you may not do. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're not looking for. So I don't have to upload my documents every single time. It's just in there.
Yeah, because when I took the resume, I just took my name and all the like phone numbers out of it so that it didn't have anything. It just had words of places. So I just didn't know if like some of these may run into challenges if it's not.
I can't guarantee they won't.
Okay.
I've never tried it using the, don't share my data setting. I operate and I have operated, I've been online doing stuff for a long time. Social media, websites, all kinds of stuff. And I have always operated under the premise that if I don't want it known to the world, I don't put it online.
Okay. Because I imagine some like you could do instead of your name, put like first name, last name, and then when it spits it out, just change it back to your first name.
Let it, when it creates the resume, I don't let it create the document for me. I will create my own document. I will actually, and in a job description, I will copy out the actual job description. This is the company, this is the job description, and I'll throw that in there. And my career story doesn't even have my name and stuff in it. It's just got, I trained a horse and I worked at a dry cleaners and I taught creative writing at UTA and I did this and I did, it's got what I did and what I accomplished at each job, but it doesn't have any of my personal information. And for the resume, just strip your name and stuff out of it. And I would think it would work.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the record, if you're trying to do a gap analysis or whatever to get ready for an interview, one of the other things I do is like yesterday, I knew exactly who I was interviewing with. I went to her LinkedIn profile, downloaded her LinkedIn profile as a PDF, and I threw that into my AI prompt and said, I'm interviewing for this job with this person. It's the second interview. Here's my resume. What should I expect? Do deep research. And I had it do deep research to help me prepare for my interview. Christy Grant Coleman.
Go ahead, Christy. I think you're muted. We can't hear you.
She's like, hold on.
Can't hear you. Sorry.
Can you put your question in the chat, Christy? Did y'all know that part of Zoom is learning sign language? Any other questions? I went through that fast. I finished early, Jeff.
Anything else? All right.
More time for lunch.
More time for lunch, exactly.
Oh,
she's still typing. I'm not going to run away. Could you go back to the QR code? Somebody wants me to go back to the QR code.
Did you interview your folks for your story in person or via a survey?
Oh, I would just call them on the phone. I would just call them and ask them the question.
And Nikki, Mike has a question now.
Okay, go for it.
So when you, so you said you subscribe to ChatGPT. So you've got all your information in there. One option, so two parts of the question. One is to the question that was asked by the doctor earlier relating to security. Could you download a copy of like Notebook LM on your computer so that you would have the language model there and then put all your information into that so that it keeps it secure and it's not out on the internet in training the larger model?
You just out techied me.
Book LM is a large language model, but I believe it's open source.
I'm tech friendly, but I don't know what that is.
Maybe talk to that. I don't know. I guess the second part of the question is, as you go through the interview process, and Ron Layton talks about this in the pit crew, is, when you go into a job interview, you have a job description. A lot of times the hiring manager doesn't have a lot of liberty to customize that. So when you were developing your materials in preparation for the interview, you only have what's in the job description, but after you go through the first or second round, you learn that, oh, these are really the keys to the job. Do you ever feed that back into the information that you have in AI to better kind of prepare yourself for the follow-up interviews? And if so, has that really changed your highlights and things that you wanted to talk about in the interview if you did feed that information into it?
Yes, and yes. I do update when I go in for a second round interview. And it's happened twice now that I've done it. The first time it was for a chief of staff role at JP Morgan, and the recruiter just super high level brushed over stuff. And he found me through LinkedIn, through my profile, because of content and stuff that I created and keywords. And, he gave me super high level stuff, and I just made notes. And then he sent me the new job description and said, here's what they're looking for. And I took the job description and then just at the bottom of it in a Word document, just added notes from pre-screening. And I just added my notes to it and put that into chat. And just yesterday's interview was a second interview from 2 weeks ago. And the recruiter said some things that absolutely traumatized me in the pre-screening interview and had me going, there ain't no way I want to work for that company. She says, the CEO has 17 initiatives that need to be rolled out in the next year, and you're going to be in charge of all 17 initiatives. And I'm like, you can't roll out 17 initiatives in 1 year. That's insanity. I mean, yes, if the initiative is buy chicken at Chick-fil-A, I got this, but that was obviously not in the job description. So for yesterday's interview, I had put that in my notes. And so yesterday when I was speaking with the second level, I said, the recruiter mentioned that there are 17 initiatives to be rolled out in the next year. She says, yes, there are. Can you speak to the scope of the initiatives? What does that mean? And and it did help me dig deeper. And obviously she can't tell me what the initiatives are. She said, some of them are easier, some of them are harder, whatever. But taking what the recruiter had said and knowing how terrified I was of the sheer idea of the job, because who wants to take that on, right? It definitely changed how I approached the second interview and what I fed into AI. These are my concerns about this role. And I want you to, when you're doing your deep research AI into the company and into the person I'm interviewing with, take my concerns into this role into account and help me make sure I'm asking questions to address those. And it did. And those questions opened up more stuff. And, and now I have a much deeper understanding of the role. And it's really not terrifying. It's interesting. I was telling my husband about it. And he says, that's going to be stressful. And I said, well, work is stressful. So it's what it is. But yes, it definitely changes how I approach things. Okay. Questions online.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Did Christy?
If you're online, you're welcome to unmute your mic.
I'm going to keep
Can you
scrolling.
hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh,
Ooh, gosh, when I go between Zoom and Teams, for some reason stuff changes. So sorry about that. Nikki, the part that you didn't hear was, this is awesome. Thank you for putting this together and thinking through this and presenting this to us. This is really amazing. So thank you for doing that. My question about interviewing people was really geared around, I thought I don't know why I didn't think about doing it over the phone. You wonder how honest people will be. Like, will they really tell you, especially because I'm thinking, yeah, some of the folks that have worked for me in the past would be really good because they will help me understand my leadership style from a different perspective. And while I think most of them would be honest, I don't know how honest they would be live, either in person or on the phone. So they've done 360s for me in the past. So I got some honesty that way. But that was really more the heart of what I was asking.
You know those people that say yes to everything? You're so great. You're so wonderful. That's so awesome. You can't
I
do
work with any of those.
not interview those people.
Right.
My mother-in-law is one of those people, and she is just always so sunny and positive and cheerful and happy. And you're so great. And that's so lovely. And and I'm like, that's very sweet. Thank you. But I did not interview her. What could I do differently? Or what could I do better? I went to people who in the past, you know what? I kind of went to my biggest, problem children.
Mhm.
I went to the franchisees that every time I saw their name light up my phone, I was like, oh, what's he gonna say today? Because honestly, those are the people who will tell you how it is. And those are the ones I went to and said, shoot straight. All bets are off. Say what you want to say. Now's your chance. Whatever you ever never said, say it now. I need to hear it. And I mean, they were never cruel about it, but they were always honest about it. um, and I went to my boss right after our job ended before she passed away. And I went to my boss and asked her, and she said, nothing, you're great. And I'm like, where's the real you? Because like you were never, ever just, no, it's great. She was always, real critical, not critical, but very analytical and, could see 10 ways of doing something. And she was like, no, I wouldn't change anything. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't really help somebody grow and get better. So I would thank her for her feedback, and then I would move on to, somebody who was a little bit meaner, I guess you could say. But I was raised by a single mom. I got a super thick skin. And so I can take just about anything anybody dishes out. And I just told them, I said, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Just tell me what you want to tell me. Um, and they would. And that was some of the stuff that I, learned to work on and grow and develop, which if you're ever in an interview and they say, what's your greatest weakness and what do you need to work on? Well, hey, guess what? I have the answer because my franchisees told me. And if they didn't tell me, they would always tell my husband. They know him too. And they're like, man, that whole comment about we love Nikki in her office. Husband says, they really love you, not in the field. I was like, noted. I said, yeah, and I said, well, who said that? And he told me, and I said, yeah, it's because I marked no on his compliance stuff. But yeah, so, yeah, ask the mean people, ask the people that you maybe didn't get along with the best. It's going to be a harder conversation, but it's going to be a more honest conversation.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else online have a question or here in the room? All right, well. Oh. Yeah.
I'm trying to help Jeff get other steps in. Exactly right. He's doing great. I'm a PMP as well. Who were the stakeholders that you had? Obviously, you traveled to a bunch of stores that were franchisees, but besides your boss, within the company, what was your stakeholder spectrum like? And along with that, let me say, I've observed that you haven't mentioned any male coworkers.
My boss built a very homogenous team. There were, at the end, we had on a team of 13, 2 men. That was it. She surrounded herself with women. And now I'm, as I learn more stuff about her after the fact, that's beginning to make a little bit more sense to me. But she surrounded herself largely with women. However, our stakeholders, I had my entire support team. I had my boss, my manager, and then, my entire lateral team that I worked with. I did not have official direct reports, but everyone on the team always came to me as if I was their boss. So what is that? Leadership without authority? Yeah. So I had all the team members, but I also had all the stakeholders, all of the franchisees, the individual business owners of 130 different stores, all of their customers, and all of their associates and their entire team. Everything I did impacted everybody down to the customer walking in the door to return an Amazon drop-off. Every single person was impacted by everything I did, because everything I did impacted everything the franchisee did. And it trickled down. And I also had to be able to work collaboratively and cross-functionally up to corporate, all the way up to the vice president and president of the company. I didn't always have to account to them, because because the way we were structured, I only had to account to my boss, and report, do things for the franchisees. So it was a little different than a normal project management world. But the experiences were all transferable. And I definitely, it was not a big deal if I picked up the phone and called the president of corporate and said, listen, I have a problem down here on the field, and I've been through every single level of the ladder and nobody's doing it. I need help. And so, but it's that whole, what is the RACI? It's the responsible, accountable, control, consulting, and informing. There you go. I'm like, I know these. And knowing when to escalate and how to escalate and doing all of that stuff. But every single action I took, I considered every franchisee and all the way down to the customer walking in the door. Does that answer the question? He says not really. His face says not really.
Thank you, Jeff. My curiosity has to do with your direct stakeholders, the people that you interface with regularly. I don't think I could have kept the job for more than about a half hour if I called the president instead of going up through the chain and let the vice president, who is over the director, who's over the managers, including my manager, make the call to the president. It's good to know them, but in the corporate structure that I worked in as a PM, structures, I don't think it would be possible for somebody who wasn't second level or first level below the president to call the president with a problem if there were other levels of management between.
I didn't have to do it very often. Very rarely, but I had the authority to do it if I needed to do it. And I had the reputation within the company that allowed me the freedom to do it, because everyone knew where I was coming from and what my intention was. And anybody higher up knew if I was calling this person, I've already been through every single chain. And by the way, not only have I been through every chain, but I have a written record to prove it. I had everything documented all the time. My direct stakeholders were generally the franchisees and my coworkers and my boss. And, I reported to them, and we had a great working relationship, even those cantankerous franchisees that were very honest. At the end of the day, we all had a great working relationship. And one of them even went on record one time saying, the day that the area sells and we lose Nikki, everybody needs to sell their store, because nothing's going to be the same ever again. And he was not a positive person, but I thought, well, that's just a lovely thing to say. Thank you.
It's a great endorsement for sure.
But don't sell your stores. Keep your money.
Thank you for the answers.
Did I answer the question finally?
We got close enough. I understand what you're talking about.
I speak horse and Phil. I speak goat too. Yeah. And llama. I speak llama, goat, horse, dog, cat.
Anything else from anybody? Oh, here we go. Hold on.
And Michael wants me to tell the llama story.
Hope you're covered.
Okay.
I have 4 comments. I hope that's okay. Okay.
$5 each.
So first, I noticed that some people didn't have that don't have target companies. So to help get target companies, I recommend going to the Career USA YouTube channel and watching the video on there where Mike Ray and Pete Hernandez teach present on the database that's called Reference Solutions. So and you can, and it's a great tool to help you expand your list of target companies. And second, I'd like to remind people that about the YouTube channel called A Life After Layoff, as there's a lot of great information about all things job search on that channel. One of the videos on there I recommend most to everyone is about how to spot fake job postings. And third, if you want to be able to practice your interviewing skills and don't want to wait on the pit crew, I've got the solution for you. And or also if you want to be able to interview on Zoom, because the Jewish Family Service has their own mock interview program that they do. It's they do it on Tuesdays every week, and so to sign up for that or for more information, just send an email to jhopper@jfsdallas.org and put the words mock interview in the subject line. Again, that's cool. Cool. Yep. And again, that's jhopper@jfsdallas.org. Put the words mock interview in the subject line. And finally, if anyone's looking for a good career transition workshop to attend, there is one coming up on October 18th at St. Jude Catholic Church in Allen. It goes from 8:45 to 3. There is a $25 cost of attendance, which includes the book you use for the workshop, as well as lunch, snacks, and beverages throughout the day. And they do, since we're on the topic of branding, that is something that they touch on in this workshop. And so if you're looking for one to attend, that's definitely one that I recommend. Just go to stjudcareeralliance.com for more information and to sign up. Thank you very much.
Okay, and Michael wants the llama story. So once upon a time, I've worked remote for 27 years. I had a friend who kept her horses and a llama in my pasture. My daughter is outside doing chores, and I see the llama run past my window, and I see my daughter run past the window. There's all this screaming and carrying on. And I'm on the phone with somebody. I didn't have my Bluetooth or anything. I'm just on the phone doing a consulting call. And, he's asking all these questions about his business and growth and da-da-da-da and all this stuff. And I just keep talking to him while I go out, and I'm helping her, chasing her, the llama, running around the property, running around 3 acres, herding a stupid llama, trying to get it back in the pasture and not run out on the road while I'm on the call. And finally, about 5 or 10 minutes later, he says to me, "Nikki, you sound a little winded. You all right?" "Yep, I'm fine. Just chasing a llama." He's like, "A what now?" "Just chasing a llama." He says, "You could have called me back." I'm like, "Well, we've been playing phone tag for a while, and you're busy in the store, and you had time, so I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk." And he says, "And you knew all that information off the top of your head?" "Yes, I did, because I know your business." So that's my llama story. It's maybe not as entertaining as the horse, unless you were there. Oh, I also speak cow because I had to herd a cow on foot with the dog one time too. This is what happens when you work remote and live in the country. The cow wasn't mine, it was my neighbor's, and it was called Laverne.
They eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken and cow.
All right. Well, Nikki, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
We'll get that, we will get that out to everybody tomorrow, as long as I've got your email address and I can read the new ones from the new people. We will get that out to everybody tomorrow. Next Friday, first Friday of the month, first Friday of October, we will do open forum. We'll answer any questions you have. It's always a good conversation because we go all over the place with topics. So please come join us next Friday. This video will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel. On that channel, it'll be listed. Click on playlist, and you see in the lower left corner, the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speakers. Click on view full playlist. Don't click on video, because if you click on the video, it'll play the last video posted. But if you click on view full playlist, up will come a list of all the prior speakers, and we've had some great speakers over the last 5 years that are on here. So you're welcome to go back and join that, and I'll put the link of today's presentation on the chat tomorrow. Tuesday, for LinkedIn Tuesday, Kurt Vondermatter will be with us to talk about LinkedIn from a recruiter's eye, how he uses it and how he's trying to find you. The practice interview will be meeting, the PIT crew will be meeting in person right here in this room next week. They meet in person on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays. On the fourth Wednesdays, they meet online for those outside the DFW area. Oh, Nikki's going to do a practice interview next Wednesday. So if you want to come watch Nikki, you'll see how her AI has helped her in an interview tomorrow, next Wednesday.
Now, isn't that on Zoom also next Wednesday?
No, next Wednesday is the first Wednesday in October, so it will not be online.
Oh, so Zoom was this Wednesday then?
Zoom was this past week, yes. For those people who are outside the DFW area and you still want some interviewing experience, but you can't join us in person, we're recommending you watch session 8 of the 13-part interview session. It's all about asking questions in interview. If you don't get the link in the email this week, you can go to the careerusa.org website and just look for Interview Wednesdays for the correct date. And if you open it up, you'll see the link for that presentation. Next Friday, open forum, as I mentioned before. So we'll answer any questions you have about your job search. Coming up on October 10th, Mike Chapman will be with us to update us on open enrollment. Certain things he can't talk about until October 1st about the upcoming season. So he'll be free to talk about everything on the 10th. And then on the 17th, Jay Fusero will be with us to talk about effective networking. He wrote a book several years ago, and it's one of the few books I think it's 100%. I agree with everything in the book about how to do effective networking. He's got a great presentation. Today, come join us at Country Burger, 3115 West Parker Road. How many people think they're going to go so we know how big table to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Whoever gets there first, go wrangle some tables in the back for us all. For everybody else, thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great weekend. Go see the State Fair, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Jeff.
Yes, thanks, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.